have faith that whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're experiencing right now, this is the preparation for you for the best relationship that will come into your life.
Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. Now exclusively on Spotify, powered by Spotify for podcasters. My name is Alec and I am your host. And in this show, we talk about happiness, success, and everything in between. I know you're ready to grow, so buckle up and enjoy the show.
Ang una sa lahat, I just want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for coming here. But before that, I just want to appreciate how amazing this event is. Sobrang dami ganda ng grounding natin na narinig natin from Jericho. Ganda ng lessons natin nakuha natin from Coach P. Ang ganda ng tawa at ng mga ngiti natin nakuha natin mula sa charisma ni Mike Balolong. And of course, Pearl Hung. The best. The best. And I'm so nervous right now. Dapat kasi nauna ako bago si Pearl eh. But no, this is actually a great event. And I'm so happy sa inyong lahat right now. Pero before anything else, let's take a deep breath in to take in all the lessons that we've learned from this event so far. Okay? Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Go deep. Inhale. Exhale. Now open your eyes. Open your eyes. And kagaya ni Pearl, hawakan niyo naman yung puso niyo. And in these heart healing sessions, I want all of us to thank our hearts for beating. We've thanked a lot of things in this world, pero kailan natin huling pinasalamatan yung puso natin? Thank our heart. Thank you for making me alive. Thank you for supplying blood and oxygen sa katawan ko so I can be here right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here right now. This is an amazing event. And let me just pull up my screen. For today's topic, I am going to, unang-una sa lahat, bago pala ako magsimula, daming mic na, first time ko magsalita, and naninibago ako, sobrang daming mic, so pakisamahan niyo ako. But I want to talk about why holding on does more damage than letting go. By the way, sino nakikinig ng podcast ko? There's a lot of people listening to the podcast. So it's like a live podcast session. Nakikita niyo na yung mukha ko, nakakatawa ba? Okay, so tinanong na kayo nilang lahat kung paano kayo ngayon. And I'm sure that you guys can all relate to the things that we're all talking about here. But I want to ask you once again, sino dito nakaranas ng heartbreak? Ang dami. Okay. So I think we can all agree that we have something in common. We all go through something that hurts us in the process. We all go through something, an event, a person, a situation that tears us completely, that breaks us down, that breaks our hearts. And if we can understand that, meron tayong isang mapupulot na lesson. Pain is constant. No matter where we are, bata man tayo, lumaki man tayo, pain is constant. No matter where you are, ano man ang status mo sa buhay, laging darating sa point na mahihirapan ka, na masasaktan ka. But here's the thing. Sino dito yung nasaktan na more than one time? More than 2 times? More than 3 times? More than 4 times? Okay. Sa mga nagtaas ng kamay, pakicheck nga yung puso nyo kung gumagana pa. Okay pa naman? Kaya pa? Okay. So if you understand that pain is constant, I think there's a bigger question to ask. Why is it that there are some heartbreaks that hurt more than the others? Balikan niyo yung mga times na nasaktan kayo sa buhay niyo. Hindi naman sila pare-parehas ng sakit. Merong mga times na mas masakit yung iba. Mas masakit yung ibang heartbreak, mas mahirap makalimutan, mas mahirap mag-move on, mas mahirap mag-heal. Bakit? I want to tell you a little bit of backstory, why the reason I'm here. First of all, I've always imagined myself speaking in front of crowd here in PICC. Pero in-imagine ko siya noon, nag-graduate ako from Mapua. Pero di ko in-expect na tungkol pala sa heartbreak ko yung topic ko pag nagsasalita na ako dito. No, it's a good thing, actually. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's just a weird thing, but I'm so grateful. So I want to tell you a little bit of my background, why I'm here standing in front of you. For the people who don't know me, let me tell you a little bit of my story. I fell in love at a very early age. Age 13, kinikilig na po ako. In love na po ako. Malandi na po ako. 13 years old, I fell in love at a very early age. And it was, it was puppy love. It was fun, it was exciting, it was a very young kind of love, and we lasted for a very long time. For the whole 4 years of our high school, we became the high school sweethearts. President siya ng student council, vice president po ako. Okay? We were the power couple, the high school sweetheart nung kapanahunan namin. So, when it came to a point that we need to decide, where do we go to college? She had plans to become a lawyer. I didn't have any plans in my life. Walang direction yung buhay ko. Wala akong gusto, wala akong pangarap. But then, my mother, who is present here ngayon, hi Ma! Hi. Okay, so my mother saw an ad from Mapua University. Sabi niya, 4 years engineer ka na. Sabi niya, ayaw mo yun, 4 years engineer ka na. Sige, doon ka na mag-enroll. Me, I didn't have anything that I wanted. Why not? Sige, go. So I went there. I stayed in Manila. First time, I was 16 years old. I didn't know what I wanted in my life. I didn't know kung kaya ko ba, kung hindi. And then, after ng first term ng Mapua, I was rewarded with 2 failing grades. I failed basic algebra and I failed basic trigonometry. The most fundamental subjects in engineering, I failed them. And that was the moment in my life that I lost my self-esteem. Sabi ko, I looked around. People around me were passing. What is wrong with me? Anong mali? And that's the moment that it became spiraling down. My life, started to spiral down. After 4 years, my girlfriend, back then, tumagal kami 7 years. Sorry, hindi ko tatalunin yung 12 years ni Mike. Mas matagal yung 12 years ni Mike. Okay? Sa amin, tumagal kami ng 11 years. 11 years. But then, she had other plans. She wanted to live the single life. She wanted to try, being alone in her own world. And I don't blame her. We've been together since 13 years old. Lahat ng ginagawa ko kasama siya. Lahat ng desisyon na ginagawa ko kasama siya. Lahat ng iniisip ko, kailangan isipin ko rin siya. Hindi ko sinunod si Skus Taklino, sinabi niyang, para. Okay. Ang init ng pangalan pala na magdahan-dahan ako sa mga sinasabi ko. Sorry. Pero hindi ko sinunod Skus Taklino, sinabi niya ng, wag gawing mundo yung tao lang. Hindi, ginawa ko mundo yung tao lang. But when we separated, I lost a bit of myself. I lost who I was. Sino ako? 11 years of my life, kasama ko siya, sino ako? How would I go on in this life? How would I act? How would I think? Everything that I know in life, it was with her. Wala na. I lost my identity. And what happened is, I was young, I was naive, I was stupid. So I did what every young and naive and stupid kid would do. Once I got my heart broken, I wrecked my life even more. I didn't sleep right. I didn't eat right. I was very depressed. I couldn't focus on my school. I asked my mom if I could drop out. My mom, with all the kindness that she has, she said yes. But I didn't use that time to heal. In fact, I wrecked my life even more. I drank a lot. Meron pang streak for 21 straight days, lasing. I didn't know what I would do in my life. And the next part of that story became very, very dark. I hit my rock bottom, and I'm sure a lot of people here has hit their rock bottom in their lives. And you know what rock bottom is. Everything is black and white. I want this to end. Ayoko na. Tama na. Bakit ako? Nagmahal lang naman ako. Wala naman akong ginawang mali. And so what I did, what I planned is, you know what? There's nothing for me here in this world anymore. So at that point, I planned to end my life. I planned to end my story. I wrote my goodbye message kay mama, sa mga ex ko, sa ex ko. Sorry. Nadudulas. My bad. I wrote goodbye letters to my friends, to my mother, to my ex. And then I was really inspired by the movie 13 Reasons Why. So please be careful when you're watching sad movies. Sabi nga ni Pearl, huwag na kayo manood na malungkot. Malulungkot lang kayo lalo. And that's what I did. So I planned it out. I was going to do it in another town. Nag-withdraw ako, kumuha ako ng natitirang 300 pesos. I went there sa bus station. Tapos, pagdating doon, wala ng bus. So sabi ko, okay, fine. Papaumaga ko. And then, ang ginawa ko is pinaumaga ko siya. But there was something different. At that point, I was still sure that I was going to do it. But when I woke up the next day, I said to myself, let us give this a try. Just one last time. If I'm going to die today, then might as well give this life another chance. One more try. Isang araw pa. And when I did that, everything was different. There was colors. Everything was, sobrang daming tao. Daming ngiti. Ang daming okay sa paligid mo. And I was so dumbfounded because the night before, it was black and white, but the next day it was colorful. So I said, okay, let's see. Baka, I want to see what they wanted to say. So I opened up my phone, and then there were tons of messages coming in. And wala pang 1 minute, my mother was calling. And ang sabi niya lang, I could hear from the creaks of her voice na she hadn't slept all night. She was so broken. And I heard her, she said, Nak, uwi ka na. And when I heard that, I broke down. I was on the bus, and I broke down. Iyak ako ng iyak. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I snapped out of it. And then I broke down and said, Ma, I'm coming home. I'm so sorry. I'm coming home. And then when I went home, I hit a reset button. I said to myself, if I'm going to give this life another chance, then might as well make the most of it. I'm going to stop living in someone else's life. This is my life. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I'm going to do how I want to do it. I'm going to do when I want to do it. I won't let my worth be tied to some other people's decisions, thoughts, and words. I owe it to myself. So I hit the reset button. And looking back, now I understood why there are a lot of things, a lot of people who are suffering. Because alam natin sa lahat, we are all experiencing suffering, right? And so we all know that pain is constant. But there's one more aspect that makes the suffering even worse. What's that? Anybody can take a guess? What is the difference? Bakit may mga heartbreaks na mas masakit? Bakit merong okay lang, kaya naman? It's because even though pain is constant, there are a lot of us who are resisting the pain. Ayaw nating masaktan. Sinong gustong masaktan? Masakit masaktan. Pero mas masasaktan tayo kung aayawan natin. Kung pipilin natin na hindi para sa akin to. Hindi ayoko tong maramdaman. Hindi to totoo. The more that we resist, that pain is here, that the pain that we're feeling is supposed to be here in our hearts so that it could teach us something, the more that we will suffer. So if we want to lessen the suffering, pain, hindi natin yan matatanggal. Pero resistance, kayang-kaya natin bawasan yan. And how, and as I've said, there's only one way that we can lessen the resistance. Is if we let go. We let go of the what should be's, the what could be's, the what ifs, and we accept what is. Masakit, oo. Mahirap, oo. Papaiyakin ka, oo. Pero yun yung katotohanan. We are in this position right now because we are experiencing pain. And I know, we all want to live in a perfectly peaceful life na walang nasasaktan, pero that's not the world that we live in. Maybe in the afterlife, maybe in the next life, but right now, pain is here. And so every time that we look at pain, we don't try to look at it as something na it's not for us. Because pain is nature's way of changing us, of making us grow, of helping us be the person that we want to be. That's what pain is. Pansinin nyo, sa mga times na nahihirapan tayo, dun tayo mas lumalaki. Working out, no one wants to do the extra rep. No one wants to do the extra push-up. Mahirap, but that's how we grow. Studying for an exam, mahirap mag-aral, all-nighters, overtime sa work para makamit yung mga pangarap natin sa buhay. That's pain, but that's how we do it. That's how life is. We need pain to make us bigger. But resistance, it's up to us. Nasa atin na yun. Are we gonna hold on to it? I imagine it like if ever a situation in your life causing you pain. It's like it's tied up there and there's a rope, right? So you're pulling, you're doing your best. Hinihila mo, nasasaktan na yung kamay mo, hinihila mo pa rin. You're trying to fight it. But you know na hindi na matatanggal yan, but you're still trying to fight it. You're resisting. You can train to be the best, puller. You can train para mas malakas kayo para mahila nyo yun, pero hindi nyo yun matatalo. There's always gonna be someone, something, some circumstance in your life that's gonna be bigger than you. Nasasaktan ka na hindi mo talaga kakayanin ngayon, at this moment. So what you will do, pansinin nyo, the more that you try to pull back the life that you thought you had, the expectations that you had before, the more that you want to bring that back in your life, the more na masasaktan ka. The way to battle it is not to become bigger or try to pull it, more. It's to let go and understand that you have a choice. You have a choice to let go and to walk away. Turn your back around and walk away. You have that choice. You have that option to let go. And so for the past 2 years, I've been dedicating my life into trying to let go every single day. I put down my goals. I've been addicted to personal development. And as you may know, you might have listened to my podcast, which has been a great success, something that I've never, ever imagined in my life. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've grown the TikTok 1 million followers. No, F that. 2 million followers. More than I could ever imagine. But here's the thing. There is no secret in what I did. All I knew is I had to let go of what I thought my life could have been. And I started asking myself, ano ba yung gusto ko? Gusto ko ba maging masaya? Gusto ko ba magkaroon ng mapayapang buhay? Gusto ko ba magkaroon ng mga bagay na yan? Write it down. Want it. Desire it. You can have it too. The peace that I have right now, that's something that I'm wishing for all of you. And I want you to understand that all of you can have it, but you have to let go. Next. Now, there are 3 principles in letting go. First of all, letting go is challenging. Alam natin na mahirap to. Hindi porket nagawa ng isang tao, dali na pala, sige, let go na lang, hayaan mo na lang. No, letting go is challenging. But letting go is supposed to be challenging. Because if it was easy, you wouldn't want it. You want to learn how to let go because that's how you know that you can step up to the next level. So expect that letting go every single day is a challenge that is being brought to your day, araw-araw, until you become stronger, until you become better, until you've learned to heal. Letting go is challenging. Always remember this. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. Pansinin nyo, yung mga bagay na alam nyo makakasama sa inyo, pag ginagawa nyo siya, masaya, masarap, madali. Pero after nun, shame, regret, anger, resentment towards yourself. Pansinin nyo, yung mga bagay na mahihirap ngayon, working out, studying, focusing on yourself, taking care of your finances, investing in yourself. Yung mga bagay na yon, mahirap, pero doon pinapadali niya yung buhay mo. Tama? Hard choices, easy life. Thank you. Easy choices, hard life. Next is letting go is painful. Pero as we said, pain is okay. Pain helps us grow. Pain teaches us a lot of things. And letting go is very painful. And I want you to allow yourself to grieve. For a lot of people here, may mga nagsasabi na ready na silang mag-let go. But if this is the first time that you're telling that to yourself, I want you to understand that it's not an easy process. It's going to be very painful, but it's going to be worth it. And so please, if you're trying to let go of anything, hindi man tao, pangarap, minsan pangarap kailangan nating i-let go. Tama? Minsan mga plano natin kailangan nating i-let go. Tama? Pandemic, walang nanghiling nito. No one wanted this. But again, it happened. It's real. It's here. And it is very, very painful. And the reason why a lot of us are still hurting dahil dito sa pandemic because we didn't allow ourselves to grieve. And that's what happened when something is taken away from you. Pag natanggalan ka ng isang bagay sa'yo, whether pangarap yan, plano, tao sa buhay mo, kailangan mag-grieve ka. Allow yourself to grieve because in the process of growing, there's grieving. Grieving for your old self because you're killing your old self and you're letting your new self come into life. Allow yourself to grieve. And the last principle of letting go is letting go takes time. Hindi po siya yung ngayon nag-attend na ng heart healing sessions. Although the tools and the tips and the strategies that we're sharing with you guys, it's very valuable, but the real battle begins outside. When you're out there, when you're all alone inside here, that's when it becomes very difficult. That's when it becomes very painful, very challenging. So understand that letting go takes time. Understand that sometimes the heart needs more time understanding what the mind already knows. Alam mo na, nandito ka sa heart healing session, sa pakinggan mo lahat ng speaker. You know, this is how to move on, this is how to grow, this is how to heal, this is how to empower yourself. But sometimes, the heart needs more time understanding what the mind already knows. So when you catch yourself hating yourself, alam mo naman bakit hindi ka pa mag-heal? Alam mo naman bakit hindi ka pa mag-move on? Alam mo naman bakit hindi mo pa ginagawa? That's not gonna help you. You need to be your number one supporter. You need to be your number one cheerleader. You need to be there for yourself.
Back in 2017, when I experienced my first heartbreak, and when I experienced that, I saw myself in my rock bottom, and I didn't know what to do. In fact, I became very depressed. I didn't eat right. I didn't sleep right. I basically threw my life away. And then I kept going. And I bounced back. I hit the reset button, and I bounced back from my failures, from my rock bottom. And I said to myself, if I am going to live or continue going, I need to better myself. I need to find tools so that when the day comes when life punches me again in the face, I knew what I had to do. So what I did was I changed my thoughts, I changed my outlook, I changed my words, I changed my habits. I basically changed myself. And one of the things that I changed was, being invested in self-improvement. I spent the last few years of my college life decreasing the time that I spent on video games and watching series and what the usual college guy does. I spent less time on those things and I focused on how I could better myself. And I found that at the library. I spent most of my last years in college at the library. I found a holy grail of books about self-improvement, about management, about business, about leadership, about communication, about sales, but more importantly, about psychology. I wanted to understand the brain and how it works, how I could use it to my advantage, and how I could, basically understand my brain and help it as it heals, as it grows. So that's what I did. I downloaded all this information and I basically, tested out some of the things, and now here we are. We have seen substantial growth over a couple of years, but I became so focused because last year I experienced my second heartbreak. Now, what led me to thinking about this or creating this podcast episode is because for the past few days, I'm having a hard time focusing. My anxiety level is up here, up there, and I'm having nightmares. I'm having these headaches. I feel stressed. I feel overwhelmed, and I don't know where it's coming from. And I know a lot of people are feeling the same way. Like, we know how to handle these emotions. We know what to do because we're so invested in ourselves. We know the tools, the strategies, the techniques. But for some reason, we're not functioning that way. And I felt that. I asked myself, what's happening? Right? So I did some self-realization. And I realized that sometimes what the mind has already forgotten, the body still remembers. And so what happened with me when I was feeling these things, my anxieties, my lack of focus, my uneasiness, I asked myself, what are you trying to tell me? And it's very important that we sit with ourselves and ask ourselves, what are you trying to tell me? Sometimes the heart needs more time learning what the mind already does know, right? So I asked myself, what is my heart trying to tell me? What is my body trying to tell me? And I remembered that it's been a year now. It's been a year since I focused so much on improving myself. Physically, mentally, financially. And I've been able to do that. I've been able to see so much success in my career, in my finances, in everything that I needed to work on. I found success in that, in them. But there was one thing that I forgot to work on. It was my heart. And my body's telling me that. It's been a year now. When are you going to take care of me? And I realized that I've been grinding my ass off day in and day out to better myself in the other areas of my life, but I still find this small piece of myself that's needing attention. And I learned about something, that there's this anniversary reaction to traumas that sometimes when something triggers us, like a photo, a music, a news, a quote, a book, someone or something triggers us, it brings back those feelings. And I felt them. And I realized that I've been working so hard to grow in the different areas in my life, but I wasn't trying to fix that. I wasn't trying to heal that. And here's the thing about our bodies. Our bodies like sending signals, right? And so when I learned that this is probably the anniversary reaction to my trauma, it demands attention. It doesn't want me to go back into the past and change what happened. It only tells me that I need to pay attention to it. I need to give my heart and my body the attention it needs, so that I can understand myself fully. And when I learned about the anniversary reaction, I found that it's normal. And it's important to know or to remember that it's normal. Sometimes we feel that we have life figured out, and then suddenly we collapse. Sometimes we feel like we have it all under control, and then suddenly we break down. But that's okay. That's normal. It's our bodies telling us that this part of yourself needs more attention. And so I'm sharing with you guys this story and this realization because I know that there's a lot of people who are pressuring themselves that they know what to do, but they're not doing it. And if we feel that we're not alone in this journey, then maybe we could become more compassionate. We could try to help ourselves from a point of compassion, not something so strict and rigid. And so that is the first thing that I want you guys to remember. Relapses doesn't erase your progress. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to fall back into the patterns that you thought you have completely removed in your life. It's okay if you don't understand yourself. But you're still trying. What's not okay is staying in that way for a long period of time. But if you're here, then that means you know that this needs your attention and you're doing your part. And becoming aware of something that needs to be fixed or something that needs to be healed is the first way to actually healing them. You cannot solve a problem unless you acknowledge that there is a problem that needs to be solved. So when you are feeling this way and you're acknowledging this way, you're starting your battle with it. I mean, you're already helping yourself with it. And so if you are, then I want you to remember that that's a good job already. A lot of people, they're still in denial. And I've been in denial for quite some time now. I kept telling to myself, you know what? You moved on. You're good. You're now dating a lot of people. Not a lot, but you're now dating different people. You've already fallen in love again. It turns out that it's not like that. When a part of ourselves dies, we need to grieve about it. A lot of us, we want to run away from it. We want to numb ourselves. We drown ourselves with alcohol. We numb ourselves with drugs or nicotine, something. Or we fill ourselves with work, with success, with money, with fame. But if we're not going to grieve about the things that we lost, and we lost that, a lot of people don't want to admit that we lost a part of ourselves, because if you've experienced a heartbreak, or not even a heartbreak, like even if it's a loss about someone you love, loss of you lost your job, you lost a part of yourself. That's a part of you. That is a part of your identity. And if it's taken away from you, or you lost it, then it needs to be grieved. You need to be grieving for it. Because the only way to heal something is to feel it. The only way to grow through it is to go through it. And if you lost a part of yourself, you need to grieve about it. You need to acknowledge that you lost a part of yourself. And even though you're good, you know that you should do this, you should do that, the productivity hacks, the tips and tricks and strategies that you can use for you to become better. I know you know all of that, but have you grieved about the thing that you've lost? Because if not, then sooner or later, it will come back to you. And it will haunt you. And out of sudden, you feel like you haven't made any progress. So it's best that right now, if your body is telling you that you need to heal something, then you need to pay attention to it. Just pay attention to it. Be there for yourself. Apply self-compassion. You didn't know any better, but now you do. So instead of fighting yourself, be there for yourself. Be there for that part of you that didn't receive any help. Be there for the part of you that felt so lonely during those times. Be there for yourself because you need it. There is nobody that can help you more than yourself. To pay attention to it and be compassionate towards yourself. And I'll share more on how to take care of yourself. Okay, no, actually remove that. I'm going to share with you 3 things that I know that it could help us out, because I'm also dealing with this and I want to be with you on this journey. And I'm going to share with you 3 things that I really feel that could help us in this thing that we're experiencing. The first one is, if you're trying to heal something and you feel this anniversary reaction, or you got triggered by something, the first thing that you need to do is apply self-care. Apply a lot of self-care. Not self-love, not self-pity, but self-care. I'll talk about self-care more in the next episode. But you need to apply a lot of self-care. You need to take care of yourself. Why did I say not self-love? Because sometimes love is often misconstrued, or we have this misconception, or we misunderstood loving. We don't know the meaning of loving someone, right? But we do know how to take care of someone that is sick, someone that is dealing with something. We know how to take care of them, right? So apply a lot of self-care. Take a run, a good bath, play some music, reconnect to your old self. I'll dive deeper into this in the next episode. But apply a lot of self-care. The second one is talk to someone you trust. Find someone that you can share your thoughts to. Or a therapist. Mas okay. It's better if you have a therapist that can professionally help you out. But you need to vent it out. You need to let it out of your system or your brain and just talk to someone that you really, really trust. Okay? The last one is take it easy on yourself. Apply self-compassion. Understand that it's normal to feel these things. It's normal to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. So take it easy. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and give yourself some space to actually feel what you need to feel. to actually go through what you need to go through. It's all right. As a person who's addicted to self improvement, I know this might sound ironic, but we can't heal something if we're subconsciously running away from it. So let's deal with it now. And I'm with you on this journey as well. So those are 3 ways that can help you with healing with it. But I hope you remember for the last time that if you really want to heal something, the only way to do that is to feel it. Pain demands to be felt. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. This year, 2021, has been a very challenging year for me in terms of relationships. Back in February, it was the last time that I saw my 11-year ex-girlfriend, sorry. And then I went into the dating phase where I dated one girl, and we ended up things back in May. And then I've fallen in love with someone that ended just recently. So in the span of 6 months, I've been able to fall in love, fall out of love, then date someone, fell out of it, and then fall in love again, and then fall out of love again. So it has been a very up and down roller coaster ride for me by far. And the reason why I created this episode is I want to share with you the experiences or the stories and the insights that I learned on how I successfully moved on, or how I am moving on from these situations that I've been in. Also, I got a message from, and I wanna share it here because I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. Hi, Alec. Don't know if you really do request, but I just got out of a 3-year relationship. He was my first love, first everything, and high school love. We were on and off because there were things that he wanted that I couldn't give because we were not legal. So yeah, even though we broke up, he still constantly replies to me and calls me during nighttime to have our deep talks. After a year of being friends, he finally have a girlfriend, and I'm quite surprised that I have not yet shed a tear. Yes, I was sad for about a week, but I can finally say that as the days goes by, I get used to it. Here's one crazy fact why I wanted to read that story is I can relate to it quite relatively well, because when my first relationship, the 11-year relationship, ended, I didn't shed a tear. And sometimes heartbreaks are like that. Sometimes you don't need to cry because, first and foremost, your tears are not worth it. In fact, I've cried more times during the latest one than the first one, which is quite really longer from the latest one. But it doesn't really mean that na mas mahal mo yung isang tao kapag mas iniyakan mo siya. It's more of what is the position that you have for yourself. How do you look at yourself? And of course, there's a lot of scenarios, context matters. But for me, that's what happened. And I learned that I was not that invested in the first relationship anymore. And in the previous one, I was really, really invested in that. And so that's why I cried more tears. But if you didn't cry any tears during your breakup, that's okay. Maybe you have that strength inside of you na alam mo na ganun talaga, na papunta na dun, na you kinda saw it coming one way or another, or you understand why it happened in the first place. So, hindi ka naiiyak. So, that's okay. But for a lot of people na hindi ganun na nangyayari, these are the 5 things that I usually see and I experience as well when I was in the moving on phase or right now. First one is denial. Tatanggihan na natin. Ayaw po natin na nangyayari yan. Hindi natin tatanggapin. Hindi pwede maghiwalay. Second is the bargaining. Is when you say na, hindi, sige, kahit friends na lang. Hindi, sige, kahit ganito na lang. Hindi, sige, kaya pa nating i-workout. Hindi, ganito na lang gagawin ko. You bargain with life, you bargain with God, you bargain with yourself to make the relationship come back or stay longer. The third one is anger. You get angry. You get mad. You get pissed. You see all the bad things that they've done. You remember why it's not working out and you focus on that and you become angry. The fourth one is depression. You don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to sleep all night. You get caught up with your thoughts and it just keeps on ruminating and you cry and cry and cry, or you just plain feel empty. That's the fourth one. And the fifth one is acceptance. You finally accept that truth is real, that is something that happened. Now, all of these things nararanasan yan ng tao. So if you are going through these phases, understand that that's normal and that's okay. Also, I want to add, breakups are okay. Moving on is okay. Getting your heart broken, it's okay. But what's not okay is you staying in the same place where you don't belong. The pain that you're experiencing right now, it's okay. It's better than you staying in a place where it's just going to give you more pain. A lot of people think strength is, your capacity, kung gaano mo kayang i-hold on yung isang bagay. But I learned that sometimes strength comes from you knowing when to let go and when to hold on. Like if you really love someone, you should let them go. And if they come back, that's good. But if they don't, let them fly away. But understand that everything happens for a reason. And that reason will come to you sooner than you expected. So I want to share with you 5 ways on how to move on. This is my formula. When I experienced my first heartbreak, I said, when the second heartbreak comes, I know what to do. So this is what I do. I hope a lot of you guys can use these techniques to move on from your previous relationships as well. So the first one is you need to cut off contact. Yep. You need to block them. You need to mute them. You need to unfollow them. You need to erase their numbers, block their numbers, block anything that can trigger you to message them or to look at them or to stalk them or to go back to your old habits in communicating with them. I believe that, di ba merong sikat na quote na nagsasabi na we accept the love that we think we deserve. But the truth is, I've realized that there's a more accurate quote for that. We accept the love that we are familiar with. And one thing about moving on that is probably the hardest part of it is that you take them out of your system. Mahirap ang pag-move on kasi nasanay ka na. Sanay ka na pagising mo sa umaga, may message mo siya. Nasanay ka na paggabi, inaabangan mo yung good night niya. Nasanay ka na may natatanggap kang pagmamahal araw-araw. And then suddenly, wala. But you gotta understand that there will be times that you will be missing them. You would want to go back to the old you, to the old you two being happy together. But every single time that you feel that way, you are overlooking the fact why you didn't work out in the first place. You focus on the things na magaganda, pero you gotta remind yourself that there's a reason why you're not together anymore. And you should learn to first and foremost kill the triggers or the cues that will get you back or will make you think that that relationship was meant to be or that was so perfect. You gotta let go of it. So what I do is I completely block them off. It's hard at first, especially if you see the pictures, especially if you see the videos of you two together. And don't get me wrong, those memories, they're real, they're genuine, but they're not gonna serve their purpose anymore for your future, for the next part of your life. It's hard to flip a page knowing that someone won't be in it. but the story must go on. Your story must go on. So cut off contact, remove the cues that will make you go back to them. It will help you get them out of your system. It's going to be hard at first, not going to lie. But you'll get used to it, just like how you got used to them being in your life. That's the first one. The second one is accept and let go. Yeah. As I've said, you go through these different stages. And the last part is acceptance. And if you have learned to accept what is the reality that you are in, you are not together anymore. The reason why we're so hurting when we're moving on, it's because of the what ifs, the what could be, the what should be. The reason why the last person that I fell in love with was so painful, it's because when you're in your 20s, unlike when you're in your teen years, you start to think about your future. You start to make plans. You start to imagine that wedding, that life in the future. You start thinking about what ifs, what should be, what could be. But it's those ideas that will hurt us more when things don't go as it plans. The reason why you're disappointed is because you're expecting. You have your hopes in the future. And it's not wrong to have plans and dreams, but when only one of you is dreaming for that, that becomes chaotic. So what you need to do is accept what is. You need to let go of what could be and what should be. Start accepting the truth that maybe you're not for each other at this particular moment right now. Let go of the idea of you two having a nice family in the future, a nice future together. You need to let go of that. And when you let go of those things, you understand more why it had to happen. And also, sa movie ni John Lloyd, sa One More Chance, sabi nila, baka kaya nga tinatanggal ni Lord yung mga tao sa buhay natin kasi may mga taong papalit na mas mamahalin tayo. Cliche, I know. Maybe the reason why God removed them from your life is because they're not the ones for you. Someone better out there. Someone that deserves you for who you are. And that person will be the one who will fulfill all the what ifs, all the what could be's. So accept and let go. The third one that you need to do is forgive. If you came from a relationship that merong malalang nangyari, for example, cheating, it's hard to forgive because all you did was love someone. Wala kang ibang ginawa kundi mahalin ng isang tao. But you experience that kind of pain. And it's hard to accept that in this world that we see na merong balance, we expect na merong balance, na pag nagmahal tayo, may mahal tayong makukuha pabalik. But the truth is, life doesn't work that way. Life sometimes give you the most unfair situations because they want to teach you something. And just because hurt you doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Maybe they're just struggling. I really believe that hurt people. So the people that hurt me, I think about maybe they're hurting inside as well. I put myself in a third person perspective and realize na maybe they're hurting. That's why they hurt me. Don't get me wrong, hindi nabawasan yung sakit na nararamdaman ko. Pero hindi ko na magagawang magalit sa kanila. Now, I've said, magagalit ka in the early phase. That's true. But when you learn to let go of that anger, okay? And you need to. Because when you don't let go of that anger, every decision you will make will be bounded by that anger. For example, I was still angry at my first ex, in the early stages of my moving on phase. And then when I was seeing someone, every decision that I would make, everything that we would do, I would always say na, I hate that about my ex, I hate that about her, good thing you're not like her, ganyan. But it turns out that the more I am comparing, the more that I am bringing my ex into into my current dating, my current relationship, the more that I'm tied up to her, which is something na hindi dapat ginagawa na naka-move on na tao. So I let go of that anger and I forgave her. And in forgiving her, I found out na mas okay pala na magmahal ng walang galit sa ex. Mas okay pala magmahal na hindi naka-move on ka na talaga. Kasi pag nakatali ka pa dun sa galit na yon, kakainin ka ng galit na yon. And imagine this, okay? The more you be angry at someone, the more you feel these negative emotions inside of you. The thing is, when you're angry, ikaw lang nakakaramdam yan. Wala nang iba. And you need to forgive them not because they deserve the forgiveness. You need to forgive them because you deserve the peace. You deserve to sleep at night knowing na wala kang ginawang mali, knowing na you are enough, knowing that you will be loved in the future. And there will be someone out there that will love you eventually. So let go of that anger and forgive them. And also forgive yourself. I know. Forgive yourself for not seeing the red flags, for overlooking the signs that it would happen. Forgive yourself for not knowing any better, because you didn't, but now you do. So make sure that you bring the lessons that you learned from your previous relationship to the new one. So that's the third one, forgive. Number 4, invest in yourself. The fourth thing that you need to do to move on is invest in yourself. This is the best part about moving on. When you try to shift or focus your attention into yourself, in loving yourself a little bit more every single day, and building something for yourself, and trying to be a better version for yourself, you'll discover a lot about yourself and you'll love yourself even more. Isn't it amazing that we haven't seen the most beautiful parts of ourselves yet? And when we shift all these negative emotions, all this pain and hurt into how we could be better ourselves, we'll become unstoppable. Pain is one of my biggest fuels in becoming better. I posted it in one of my TikToks that I'm not afraid of getting my heart broken, because I know that if my heart gets broken, it's for a purpose. It's to teach me something. And so when I get hurt, when I feel pain, I just use that. Okay, now I know more about myself, and I'll invest in myself more. I'll now work out. I'll now work harder. I'll now spend time with the people that I didn't spend time with, that I really love. Okay? Kasi pag in love ka, you spend your time thinking about her, thinking about him, thinking about that person. You get consumed na nawawalan ka na nga minsan ng oras para sa sarili mo. But if you invest in yourself and you raise your level, you raise the frequency, the vibration that you have inside of you, magugulat ka na lang na biglang may darating na papantay doon sa'yo. And even though my last relationship was really painful, I'm still thankful, as with all of them. But I'm really thankful because I got to know what my standards were. I got to know what my boundaries were. I got to know what kind of love do I really deserve. And so, moving forward, I'm pretty sure that if someone comes and makes me fall in love all over again, then that person is going to be worth it. Because I know what I want right now. And until that person comes, I will never settle for less. And when you invest in yourself, kahit anong sakit ang maramdaman mo, you'll know that you're gonna be okay. Kasi you have this eternal love for yourself. Unlimited source of love inside of you. Kahit sino pang manakit sa'yo, kahit sino pang dumating tas saktan ka, okay lang. Kasi meron kang unlimited for sa sarili mo. Don't get me wrong, masakit talaga yung mga nangyayaring heartbreak sa akin. Pero okay lang. Kasi kaya ko nang i-sustain ang sarili ko na tinuro sa akin nung first heartbreak ko. So that's the fourth thing that you need to do. You need to invest in yourself. And girl, if you're in your 20s, or boy, if you're in your 20s, this is the perfect time for you to know more about yourself. The reason why we get so frustrated is that we look at social media, diba? And we see all of these cute couples and cute marriages, cute weddings, cute children, and we think, nah, I want to have that. And even though we want to have that in the future, we get so frustrated that we don't have it now. But understand that this is your time, this is your life, and you will get the things that you deserve in its right time. Do not rush yourself. There's a time to be young and play games. There's a time to be heartbroken and to learn lessons. There's a time for you to fall in love and learn what love is. And there's a time for you to get married and to have those cute little children. But that time maybe won't be in your 20s. Most likely, it won't be in your 20s. So build yourself up in your 20s. Kung may dumating, then be thankful. Not everyone gets that. Pero if you are in your 20s, please invest in yourself. So the fifth step for you to move on is to be excited. Unfortunately, the most important people in your life can become strangers overnight. Fortunately, complete strangers can become the most important people in your life overnight. One thing that I've learned when the latest woman came into my life was that love can happen in an instant. Like love comes when you least expect it. And when something like that happens, something like that could happen again. But the next time that happens, you'll know better. The next time that happens, it'll be much better. Because you know what you don't want. You know what you want. And sometimes we think that most of the relationships that we go in does not work, so that's going to be our story. One thing that I want you guys to remember is that you are the one who writes your own story. So if you think that the reason why your relationships are not working is because there's a problem with you or relationships just suck, then that's going to be your truth. But if you think that every failed relationship that will happen in your life will teach you lessons that you will bring in your next relationship, then that's going to be your truth. So the fifth step of moving on is to be excited for the future. Don't be too hopeful, okay? Don't try to chase anybody, attract people. And if you invest yourself, you will attract the right person for you. And don't hope. Don't worry too much about the future. Have faith that whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're experiencing right now, this is the preparation for you for the best relationship that will come into your life. I'm excited. I look at the world as this huge place where there's unlimited possibility. There's an abundance of love and kindness that I can accept. And I will not let my past failed relationships ruin the true meaning of love. And I know that love is kind, love is sweet, love is patient. Love will be worth fighting for. And so when that comes, I just need to make sure that I'm prepared to handle it. So be excited for your future. Let's all be excited for our future. I hope that you see that the relationships that did not work before was not meant to work. If it was meant to work, then it would have been. But the fact that it didn't, it was meant not to. And just because it didn't work doesn't mean you are less of a person, or you have, you should value yourself a little bit less. It's all part of a bigger plan. So stop focusing on the hurt, because if you focus on the hurt, the pain will grow. If you focus on the lesson, you will grow.